Hi, I'm Simon Marsh. I'm the Animal Collections Manager at Yorkshire Wildlife Park, and I'm here in Project Polar, and this is reserve number 2 where Nissan will be joining us from Moscow Zoo shortly. We've designed Project Polar to try and replicate their natural habitat, which is the Arctic tundra. So this time of year it'd be very much like this. It'd be a fairly warm day, there'd be no snow and ice, they'd be on dry land, and then when winter comes, when we get snow and ice, that's when the sea ice comes in their natural range, and they go out onto that sea ice to catch their prey, which is mainly seals. So Nissan was born in a Russian zoo, and he'll be coming over to Yorkshire Wildlife Park as part of a managed breeding programme throughout European and Russian zoos. He was born 2 years ago, so it's time for him to naturally move away from his mother, and this is exactly what would happen in the wild. So he'd get to about 2 years old and he'd go off into the wilderness and build up his strength and grow bigger and bigger until he was a big mature male. And that's exactly what we'll do here. So he's going to come to Yorkshire Wildlife Park, stay at Project Polar for the next few years until he might be needed in the breeding programme somewhere else to be paired up with a female. Now, the other objective of Project Polar is to educate visitors and a wider audience about the threats that polar bears face in the wild, and their main threat is climate change. Now, polar bears rely on the Arctic sea ice for their prey, and they catch the seals on Arctic sea ice. Now, with climate change, we're increasing the temperature of the planet, the global temperature, which means the Arctic sea ice is either melting sooner or not forming at all, and the polar bears rely on this sea ice to catch the seal prey. So it's really important that we all act together by reducing our carbon emissions. That reduces the blanket of carbon that traps the heat around the world. And if we can do that, we can reverse climate change and save the polar bears from extinction.